Right, this month we stopped a client losing £260,000. Watch my video and I'll explain more. If you haven't yet, click the bell and subscribe to be notified every time we produce our best pieces of content. £260,000, that is a hell of a lot of money. And you place advisors in positions for them to look after your money as best you can, because the blood, sweat and tears that you've gone through to get that money is massive. And £260,000, whatever level you are, is a lot of money. Watch my video and I'll explain exactly what happened to this client. So I first met these clients in 2019. I really loved their enthusiasm. I really enjoyed the business that they were in. They built things. I could see that these guys had every potential of success. When I first met them in 2019, they've amassed their business up to £500,000 turnover. And what's more exciting about that is they have the contacts which will allow them to grow the business even further. And one of the best things that you see in a small business is one that has great balance sheet discipline, which means in layman's terms, they manage their cash really well. So in the 4 years, they've managed to amass £260,000 cash at bank within their business. What a great result that is. A lot of businesses spend it before they've earned it, but these guys were really sensible, hard-working, they were being disciplined. This was really good. When I first met them in 2019, they actually went with a cheaper accountant and it was just on cost. But the downside to them is that their accounts were late at company's house that I brought to their attention at the meeting, and they was like, oh, we didn't know. Even worse than that, the company was on its final chance of being struck off. And when you're struck off as a company, this means the company dies. And any assets or any money at the bank go to the state. Now, I know it is possible to restore these companies, but who actually wants £260,000 of their own money taken away from them just because they haven't filed their company accounts on time? It's ridiculous. So all of that hard work, effort and pain had gone for nothing. So what we did at the meeting was we made sure that we knew exactly what was needed to do to bring them accounts up to date. And like anything that's out of date, you can always do to the most recent set of accounts now, so they'll never have that problem again. Because while you have a 9-month deadline to be able to file your accounts at company's house, you really want to be getting these done in free. And the reason why you want to get these done in free is, one, get it out of the way so you don't ever hit this problem where you've got a late deadline. I personally believe that your credit file actually improves by filing your accounts earlier, because it just shows you got your house in order, and it also allows you to plan for your corporation tax. So if you're not quite sure what your corporation tax is going to be, to know what the liability is 6 months in advance is going to be nothing but a good thing. So when you're looking at your advisor, make sure that they're doing everything that they can do possibly. Because these guys within their business, they were shocked when I sat in front of them. I'm like, your accounts haven't been filed. And then what does that mean? And I'm like, your company's going to get struck off. What, we can't trade? Yes, and your money's going to get taken. £260,000. All of their employees, all of their suppliers, all of what they need personally for their families, gone. Now there is a process that you can do which you can then restore the company where you have to go back to court. This costs money and this costs time, and it's a pain to do. So don't ever get yourself in a position of where your company's being struck off and you lose all of your assets. And what it came back down to when we actually looked into the figures even more is they had not made really good opportunities of tax planning. Their salary levels were poor, their dividend levels were poor, so they were under optimising loads throughout their business. So if they'd have signed up with us originally in 2019 instead of 2023, we could have probably saved the differential in our fees and more. We could have then helped their business grow and give them the support that they need to, because they were batted around by various different client manager. They had no one point of contact, so they just felt completely lost. I mean, that's terrible. When you've got an accountant, yes, you want them to be compliant, and no, you may not want them to become your best friend, but you actually want someone who's gonna do their thing. Because if you know you've got 100% trust in everything that they do, that gives you headspace to go on and do some cool things. You can go and get more customers, you can go and build more things, you can go and introduce new products, you could then go and even woo more customers to get more sales, which would then be profitable in itself. So when you're actually sitting there thinking, oh, it's a bit expensive, that accountant, look at the value that they bring. Now, I can't directly compare us to every single accountant in the country because there's 30,000 of us and there will be lots of good ones. But in this situation, these two guys are really prime in their businesses. They're 35, they're looking to crack on, they're looking to upscale and get some really great family homes, build some wealth, did not have the right person buy them. And ultimately it was a decision that they made where they went with the cheapest option. And there's a Chinese phrase that I really love, which is good, good, no cheap, 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 no good. So always look at the value when you're looking at any type of service that you're looking for. Because if your company was to be struck off, what impact would that have on your customers? What impact would it have on your suppliers? What impact would it have on cash disappearing? And what impact would that have on your families? Because if you have the right person around you and the right team around you, it just gives you so much more headspace to do loads more. So I'm really excited about working with these business owners now, because there's nothing more pleasing than getting someone up to date. They were scared to death when I told them that the company's going to be struck off. So to actually give someone that confidence so they don't have that fear again is why we do what we do. We want to make sure that they're legal, we want to make sure everything's clean, everything's up to date, and also if there's ways that we can minimise tax to as low as it legally should be possible, then that's going to be a saving in itself and also help them towards their futures. So when you're looking at accountancy services or you're looking at any services whatsoever, please always look at the value, because it's not always about the cost. I hope this video's helped, and if I could be any help in the future, or any questions have spurned from this video, please click my discovery call below. I promise I'll take on board any questions that you have. There'll be no pushy sales pitch, but you never know, we could end up working together.